Hello and welcome to the Sport for Business Daily. We're joined this morning by Nicolas Roche, latterly of Dancing with the Stars, but perhaps a little bit better known for his days in cycling. And it's a big cycling announcement that we're talking about today because Nicolas is on board as an ambassador and as a club member with Orwell Wheelers, who've just signed a big sponsorship deal with Pinergy. You're very welcome to Sport for Business, Nicolas.
Good morning. How are you?
Tell me something. How has it come about that a big brand business like Pinergy is looking to a local cycling club for 3-year sponsorship deal?
Well, first of all, it's an amazing announcement, and all my career I was always asking myself, why isn't there more involvement from sustainable companies or energy companies? And a couple of weeks back, when I heard the news that this was going to happen, I was like, oh, this is finally happening. I always wondered why such a sustainable sport wasn't backed by companies, and it's great to see Pinergy opening the way.
And has that been the case? Like internationally, there are a significant number of kind of energy brands that have been involved with the sport at a major level. But for a club, it's a great club, 800 members and a very long and strong tradition. But it's a step for that club to actually sort of move into this space now.
It is, when you have a club, and especially a club as big as Orwell, you need to be backed up quite financially. There is a lot of cost. There is a lot of things you have to do. And again, cycling is wild. It's not just about cycling. You need to organize events. You need to travel to events. It's a very, very spread out cost, basically, from beginning to the end, through equipment to through cars to you can find so many different of expenses. But also, again, you need to have the strength of a club and then events to go to. So you also need, it is great that Pinergy is not only involved with Orwell, that they also get involved with the Randonnée, which is in a couple of weeks' time. They get involved with the Junior Tour, which is in a couple of months' time. Because again, it's great to support a club, and it's great to support events where the clubs can actually go to. And I know they've also been into bringing even more people into cycling. There are kind of sourcing around to bring people into cycling and into clubs to have all this kind of, it's important to have this club aspect where you socialize, but also you feel, you learn, you get to teach the rules of kind of how to maneuver on the road and all that. So it's been great. And to go back to what you were saying early on about actually on the bigger scheme in World Tour, I don't think I know in Spain they had a famous sponsor in the Vuelta, but I think that's the only one that I really recall is the one in Spain, which is a battery recycling company that backed up. I think it was the green jersey back then in the Vuelta, and that was one of the things. Is I always wondered why there wasn't like a team sponsored, like a professional team sponsored by such a energy or sustainable company. But yeah, for it to be happening in Ireland, like I said, hopefully opens the way to a lot of things, and people will follow the example of Pinergy.
Maybe the little seeds that can be planted in Dundrum and around the Orwell Wheelers Club could grow into a great oak across the whole of the sport. Tell me a little bit about the club and your own involvement with it, because it goes back through the generations. But would you be an active participant? Because I know you're not living in Ireland full time now, well, apart from the last few months. But how close are you to the club?
So the club for me has always been something special. It was my first club back in '97, quite some years ago. But also symbolically, it was my dad's club. And for years, the club was based down in Joe Daly's in Dundrum. That was my local bike shop. We'd meet there to go on the Sunday rides, and I always kept a very close link with the club, if it's for events, but also throughout the year, and especially even the couple of years with COVID, where it was easier in a way for me to get involved because I could do stuff online. And if it's just to wish the guys good luck for a race, is it to do a little conference and a Zoom call and give advice to the younger teams? So it was easier in that perspective, actually, although we were separated with a distance, just through technology and all this kind of new trend of being capable of doing these conferences from basically from a phone or a tablet, has kind of made me a little bit closer than the last couple of years, where we just come in and say a quick hello or go to the start of a race and give a few taps on the shoulder and wish everybody good luck. But Orwell has always been, I've always spoken about Orwell. Um, even in my interviews, you could always feel my links to Orwell. It is my first club, and I am a lifetime member of the club. So technically, I'm still in the club. But also, it's just, it's down here. It's in Dundrum, just down the road from where I am with my grandparents every time I come to Ireland.
Cool, and hopefully for a long time to come yet as well. You've recently taken on some new responsibilities within Cycling Ireland as well. How's that working out?
It's working out good. So technically, I will be the sports director for the European Championships and the World Championships, which are in August and September. But obviously, I just don't want to just show up in August and take my plane and arrive in Munich. So Dancing with the Stars was great because I was able to be 3 months in Ireland and start to work and plan ahead. And the office was literally just 10 minutes away from where I was dancing with Karen. So it was great. A few times a week, I just pop in or before or after to the office and have a chat and discuss many things, not only on the sporting side, but also on logistics, try and bring as much information that I gathered over the years and from team to team, because teams do things differently, just to share of, even staff management and organization, logistics again, travels, but also equipment. What piece of equipment do we need, or also what do we don't need, because obviously, Cycling Ireland is not a World Tour team. Budget is quite limited, and you have to be kind of cost effective. So it was great to be able to give a feedback on trying to explain how we can do things better, or how World Tour teams do it, so as we can kind of do things in a similar way, but without kind of pushing it that far. So it was quite interesting, and I was also enjoying just sitting down there and sharing all my experiences, things that I've seen over the years.
We've got a lot of young talent that's coming through. How optimistic are you for Ireland on the international stage over the next few years?
In terms of the future, we've Ben Healy, who's kind of first year with EF. I'm very curious to see how he will progress over the years. I think he's very talented. I'm just looking forward to seeing him in the bigger races, seeing how he adapts to the World Tour level. And then Archie Ryan, again, injured, unfortunately. His team has given him another 2 years, so it does show that there is commitment from the team, which I think is very encouraging for him. But he is going to have to hopefully get better very, very quick. And at that age, at 20 you're young, but at 22 you're almost old. So it is important to confirm straight away.
That's great. I can't let you go without a small reference back to Dancing with the Stars. Very enjoyable watching you and Karen. In all of those hours of training with her, she was famously the partner of Des Cahill back a couple of years ago as well. Did she let you in on any secrets about how Des's preparation was?
No, she didn't. No, she showed me the famous video when both of them, I think they tripped and they improvised a dance, canoeing or something like that on the ground. But Des came in and we on one of the occasions, and we had a good lunch and good chat with him. It was great to see him, and he shared some of his stories and experiences, and again the going out there with the fear of actually making a fool of ourselves, and just the whole adrenaline when you actually finish the dance, if you've done it right or wrong, just the buzz from the show, and telling me that years after he still talks about the show, and I can totally relate to that, because it's a month now, and I just cannot believe it's gone so fast.
Well, it was a pleasure to watch you. You represented sport incredibly well alongside Ellen and, of course, Nina, who ultimately carried away the glitter ball trophy. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and the very best of luck with the
Thank you very
summer
much.
ahead, and with Orwell Wheelers and Pinergy as well. So, Nicolas, thank you.